Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope you are well, wherever you are, whatever the damn time. If you're new to the channel, my name is Elliot Gibson, natural pro bodybuilder and online coach. But today I thought I'd go over a video going over exactly what I would do if I wanted really small legs. Because I think letting people know the opposite of what you should actually do and giving you things that you should absolutely avoid to reach your goals, I think it just clicks a little bit better for people. And with myself as well, my legs are something that I've worked really hard over the past 11 years to try and grow because one, I'm really tall and I don't think I'm genetically inclined to have tree trunks for legs. I think one of the worst people that you can ask for advice with over a body part is body parts that they're blessed with, that they haven't really had to do much with. They haven't had to do a lot of trial and error with to make those improvements. So for me, that would be something like biceps or my chest. I can kind of just look at dumbbells and my biceps just grow. I can also train my biceps with very little effort and they just grow. Whereas my legs is something that I'm still trying to improve, but they've grown a hell of a lot. So anyway, I have 8 things today, which I'm going to go over that I would do if I wanted to keep my legs small. Hint, you should basically just do the opposite. Whilst I'm also going over these as well, there's going to be a leg session playing in the background. So you'll be able to see how I actually execute one of my leg sessions. I do 3 leg sessions across a week, which brings me to the first point. So if I wanted to have really small legs, I would train my legs as infrequently as possible. At most, I would just do 1 leg session per week. Over the course of this year, I will do 144 leg sessions. Most people will probably do 52 if they're decent, if they're actually interested in bodybuilding. And when you look at it like that, it's really hard to imagine that I won't make greater improvements than somebody doing something once per week. I want you to look at it, and I've said this so many times before, but I want you to look at it on any other skill. If I wanted to learn to play the guitar and I'd done a session every single day, even if the sessions were shorter, I would learn that skill quicker than somebody doing it once per week. Another thing, you only have a limited amount of bandwidth in your brain. You only have so much you can contribute to a task and do that task really well. That's just how we're built. So trying to cram all of your leg work into one session, there is going to be a diminishment in effectiveness as you get to the back end of that session. One of the best things that you can do is try and program yourself in a way to hit legs as frequently as possible. But if you want small legs, just do 1 session a week and just do them infrequently. Number 2, I would try and stay as lean as possible. I wouldn't want to put on any body weight. If you want bigger legs, you are probably going to see benefit in becoming a bigger person. And not only that as well, but your energy source comes from your food. That provides you with the output needed to train really well. This is why I'm an advocate for people still going through bulks, still going through gaining phases. And there's a lot at the minute talking about main gaining and that sort of thing. And the reason why I think a really small surplus works for so many people is because of the performance benefits that you get from doing so. And it's no different if you're trying to improve your legs. I think if you want bigger legs, you're probably going to need to have more output. And if you want more output, you're going to need a little bit more food. For someone like myself, I was very slender and skinny when I was younger. And I think that's very common among people who have smaller legs. They're typically like slender, lanky people, right? And they've probably never gone through the process of having a little bit more body fat on themselves and being heavier set. And I think that can be beneficial for growing your legs. This isn't me saying get fat, because I think a lot of people, they just like to speak in extremes in fitness. I'm not saying get really fat, but I think just not trying to stay lean could be a good idea if you want bigger legs. Number 3, if I wanted to have small legs, I would not track my workouts at all. I'll just go into the gym, I'd wing it. I wouldn't make sure I'm getting stronger. It's interesting with bodybuilders because data tracking in bodybuilding is one of the only things where people think that's too excessive or it's weird. But if you've done this in any other sport, any other kind of strength and conditioning coach would look at you and think, why are you not tracking your metrics or your numbers? Even with anything else, with budgeting your money, That's all data. Why would you not track your performance in your training if your training is what dictates how big your legs are going to get? You need to make sure that the programming that you're doing is actually working. And one of the ways that you can see that it's working is by log booking your sessions. Cool. Next one. I would be committed part-time. So I would only work hard during the weekdays. On the weekends, I'd kind of just do my own thing, whatever, go out, party, get drunk, not sleep really well. This mentality is really silly. I just don't like the mentality about weekends in general, because weekends are 30 to 40% of your week. And if you have a goal and you're not committing to that part of your week, you're missing a huge chunk of progress. You're missing a huge opportunity. Taking off those days makes a big difference. I know how in bodybuilding there's sometimes talk of, oh, it's just one meal, it doesn't matter, or oh, it's just one day. That's a lot different to an entire weekend. And that can genuinely dictate the direction that you go in. So make sure that you're dedicated throughout the entirety of your week. If you're not, that's fine. You can make that call. It is your life. But don't be surprised if you see slower or less progress. Next, I would take zero interest in the anatomy of the leg musculature. So not care how the quad works, not care how the hamstrings work, not care about the other musculature in the leg like the adductor or abductors, glutes, etc. I just wouldn't care about that. I would just go into the gym and just move. And the problem is, if you have weak legs, I think it's on you to take extra care in what you're, or how you're moving in the gym. If you don't want big legs and you don't want to improve that body part, then don't worry about anatomy. Number 6, I would expect huge results in a short period of time. A lot of people think that if they implement these strategies, or they just change their programming, or they start doing the right things, that they're immediately going to see changes. Not even immediately, they think they'll see changes within 3 months. And it's really important that you manage your expectations with this. One, the legs are a huge, huge body part. It's not small. Legs are big. They take up a large space on your body. It's going to take time for them to grow. It's going to take time for you to build muscle. 2, hypertrophy takes time. It's not going to happen immediately. I do think it's really important for you to think in years, and then also compare to where you were the previous year to where you are now, and then the next year. Don't expect to see changes too quickly, or do if you want to have your legs stay small. Next, I would not be open to help. So I don't want to get a coach. I don't want to listen to anybody who's experienced the same issues as myself. I'm just going to try and tackle the problem on my own. Again, you don't want to do that. You want to try and take advice from people who are further ahead of you, or people that have gone through the same problem as you. That's going to allow you to avoid making a load of mistakes and wasting your own time. And finally, if I definitely wanted really small legs, I would constantly change my programming. I'd do a program maybe for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, realize it's not really working or think that it's not working, and then change program. I'd then start a different exercise because I'm not feeling it enough in my glutes, or I'm not feeling it enough in my quads, or I've seen somebody else do this on TikTok or Instagram, and I'd switch the exercise again, and I'd switch it again. And you just change your sessions and exercises frequently. And the problem is you're not giving those exercises a chance to actually work. You're not giving yourself time to actually go through the process of adaptation. And it's giving you a great feeling because you get on a new machine or you get on a new piece of kit and you think, oh, this feels great. This is brand new. I'm getting a good burn. And then you lose that after a couple of weeks and you think, okay, I need to switch again. You don't. Novelty doesn't mean good. There is something to be said about just doing the same thing over and over and over again. You have to be able to just, I don't want to say bored because I don't think bodybuilding is boring, but you have to be able to just enjoy monotony, like just doing the same thing and trusting that the work works. Anyway, if you found this video useful, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you are interested in coaching services from myself, just check the description below and I'll see you next time.